introduction. Dr. Freeman made me sound a lot more important than I am. The security clearance I held some time ago, I don't hold that clearance anymore. And I worked in the missile fields out in Minot, North Dakota for a while with the Air Force, and it was a wonderful experience. But this is a little tougher than I thought. That's why I prepared the prompts and prepared the slides, because this is challenging. I'm looking out on a group of people that I really, really like, and a group of people that I really, really respect, and most of the time those two people are the same group, so that's nice. This is my family here at this back table, and I'll show you a picture of each one kind of at the end of the speech that I have prepared. But they are wonderful, and they've been with me through every minute of residency, and very supportive. So I wanted to start out by giving some advice to the new folks coming in. In my dental school class, we assigned different people roles based on the Harry Potter series. And I have kind of an old soul, and so they called me Dumbledore. So, and I was old to the class as well. So anyway, I have a couple of remarks that I wanted to give to the new guys coming in. And the first one is, don't live in Pearland, because you'll be spending a lot of time with This Is Your View from Houston. So yeah, don't live in Pearland. The next one is probably more important than that one. It is, do your own evaluation every time. Do your own eval. No matter who else is seeing the patient, do your own eval. And then one more piece of advice, be nice. Sometimes it's easy when you're exhausted or tired to not be nice to all members of the healthcare team, but that usually comes back and bites you in some unexpected way. So it's important to be nice. Next, I wanted to talk briefly about the operating room. I don't have a ton to say about this other than the operating room. There's a lot of things that come together to make the operating room happen. And that there's a lot of things that can come together to make the operating room not happen. So this particular experience, I hope Dr. Marchena doesn't mind. One morning we were getting ready to run clinic, and he gave me a call. He said, Karl. And I was like, yeah, how are you, Dr. Marchena? He said, well, I'm going to be a little late to clinic. And I was like, okay, I think that'll be all right. Don't start any procedures. I have to take my dog to the vet. So Dr. Marchena's dog, if I'm not mistaken, had decided to eat a piece of a Swiffer cleaning material. So in this case, it actually didn't slow down the operating room, but it did slow down clinic for a little while. And the good news is the dog is okay. So that's great. So anyway, the OR is also going to be an interesting place. One of the rotations that we have is at Smith Tower. And that particular rotation, all of the faculty have their faculty practice out of that office. And that office can be very complicated for a resident. There's several places to check the schedule and make sure that you are where you need to be at any given time, and that you have the things that you need to have. So I spent one night driving up to Spring to get a set of implants for a particular case that I hadn't prepared adequately for. And the rep happened to have a baby the night before, so he's like, just break into my backyard, I'll leave the implants on the back table. So I did. I drove up there, made sure there weren't too many security cameras, and walked in and picked up the implants and brought to the case. Another time, too, I got a phone call from Dr. Wong. It was a morning, about 9:30. He said, Karl, what time's the case today? I was like, I think it's around 11. I'm not sure. Let me check and I'll get back to you. There was no case on my calendar, no case on my schedule, no case on the whiteboard, no case in Axiom, no case on the Google Calendar. And Carmen, who was the business manager there at Smith Tower, told me that Dr. Wong didn't have a case either. So then I was in the terrible situation where I needed to call around the different operating rooms and try to figure out what case it was that I wasn't ready for. And so then finally, I had to call back Dr. Wong and say, Dr. Wong, I don't know what case you're talking about. So there was a case. It was a joint case with another service at an operating room where we don't usually operate. And anyway, there was a case. But that could be challenging to try to manage all of those things. The reason I was wearing my glasses underneath the goggles was so that I could see. I did have blinders on, this side. I did. So next I want to talk a little bit about clinic. And clinic can be an interesting place. There's a couple stories that I want to tell here. And most of them involve the relationship that I have with Dr. Wilson. And I don't see him here tonight. He's not here tonight. That's unfortunate. But that's okay. He's in Dallas. So each of these has a story, really. A couple of stories. Our clinics can be extremely busy. Extremely busy. And I'll start with the first one of one gentleman. I stepped into the operatory to see him at about 7:30 p.m., on a Tuesday evening. And he said, "I've been here since 5 a.m. I had to take 2 buses to get here, and you're 3 hours behind." So at that point in my residency, I'd had enough experience to say to him, "I've been here since 4:30 a.m. yesterday. So sit down and we'll get started." So that's not all of our clinics run that way, but some of our clinics do run that way. The pistol in the middle of this picture, Dr. Wilson has a very particular way that he likes to teach people to open their mouths again after we wire them shut to fix a broken jaw. And so the thumbs go on the upper teeth and the index fingers go on the lower teeth, and you teach the person to open their mouth. And he calls it digital physiotherapy. So this is my intern year. I was in the operatory again talking to a patient, and I knew that Dr. Wilson would ask this person if she'd been doing her digital physiotherapy. But Dr. Wilson doesn't stop there. Then he says, "Please show me how you do it." So I was coaching this person because I knew that she was going to be in trouble and I was going to be in trouble too if she didn't do it correctly. Well, Dr. Wilson stepped in, and the patient got nervous and fumbled. And so Dr. Wilson turned to me and he said, "Karl, if I had a gun, I would shoot you right now." And then he stepped out of the operatory there, and the patient apologized profusely that she had messed it up and got me in trouble. But anyway, the last story I want to tell briefly about Dr. Wilson involves a young man that came to the clinic after a mandible fracture, and he hadn't been brushing his teeth.
I got all of them too.
And this young man was covered in tattoos. It was obvious that his lifestyle was other than ideal. And Dr. Wilson got in his face and said, you need to take care of your wounds, or you're going to get infected, you're going to have a problem, which was appropriate. So the man came back next week with 5 friends and a girl. And they're sitting in the lobby, and Katie is really nice. She was the person at the clinic that would show them into the room. So she showed him into the room, and he got up and went in. And friend number 1 got up and went in, and friend number 2 got up and went in, and friend number 3 got up and went in, and Dr. Wilson turned to me and he said, "Karl, why don't you go see how that guy's doing?" So those are our clinics. This next slide, I wanted to talk briefly about patient care. Again, this is sort of an inside joke. It's difficult to manage the number of patients that we have on our service, and so sometimes as a resident it's a little bit overwhelming, and so you create these lists of people that you want to follow and make sure that they're doing okay. Well, HIPAA has made that even more complicated because you can't share the lists with each other, and so it becomes challenging. And then the VA added yet another layer of complication, and they said, guess what, you can't create lists. So this is the way we stay organized at the VA. So next, I'd like to talk briefly about, and this is actually a pop quiz for the Rising Chiefs. So Rising Chiefs, raise your hands. All right, so this is for you. So who is the faculty member most likely to insult you, comment on your personal hygiene, tell you to quit, compliment you, all before 2 o'clock, and then take you to lunch, and then dance to this song while you're placing arch bars in the operating room? So that's Dr. Damien. He's also not here tonight, but he's memorable. He's kind of the mean coach of the faculty. Wonderful. Next I have some intern awards. belongs to Naeem Ali, who is not here this evening. He's on call as with too many Matts. Matt Carrier. We were in the operating room at the VA, and we needed some music. All of us were scrubbed except for Dr. Ali. And so it was, his fourth month in the residency, and he chose this particular artist. So we're operating, and he got called away to go do something, and none of us could take it anymore. And so we turned it off. And anyway, this became his song. And so every time I see Dr. Ali, I think of this particular song. He's not here tonight, but this is his intern award. So it's the CD. I should preface the rest of these awards by saying I only did awards for those that I worked closely with. So some of you I only took call with. Dr. Ali I happened to spend 6 months with, so he needed an award for sure. This next award is for Dr. Chris Chow, because he is the resident that is most likely to whip and nay successfully. So he can come up here. I have an award for him. So Chris kept us successful at Bentob. He worked harder than anyone I have ever seen work to make that operating room run. So this is his nene, and he's got a whip, all right? So these are his girl sticks. This person probably knows who they are. They might as well stand up right now. This is the only person in the room who loves potato chips as much as I do. So Matt Tong needs to get up here and get this bag of potato chips. Also worked very, very hard. Spent a couple of months with Dr. Tong at Smith Tower. Very smart, very efficient.
Very hungry.
Very hungry. The other intern that I spent some time with is Matt Carrier, who is also not here tonight. He's on call. So his award is a gift certificate to Timmy Chan's, which only the intern class will probably understand, but maybe not. So if you ever start an IV on Matt Carrier, or if you need to do a blood draw, chances are you get some ramen broth. So anyway, the man loves ramen, and so we got him a gift certificate to Timmy Chan's because he likes Jinya. So. What did I do wrong? Next, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about my family. So Carson, if you could stand up briefly. So Carson turned 17 last week. Here he's learned to drive, becoming a Eagle Scout, and becoming a good man, and I'm really proud of him. Haley, do you mind standing up? All right, so this is Haley. She's my second daughter, or first daughter, rather, second child, and beautiful ballerina, among many other things that she does. Next is Lydia. So Lydia keeps our house running. If Megan had an intern, it would be Lydia. Pretty amazing young lady. So the dress that Violet is wearing, she's the youngest, Lydia actually made with Megan's help. So. Next is Bob. So Bob, if you'll stand up. So Bob's real name is Eldon. And he decided when we moved from Kentucky that he didn't like his real name, although he tells us that he does like his real name. He introduced himself at church as Bob. And then he came home and he said, hey, everybody calls me Bob. And we're like, well, yeah, you introduced yourself as Bob. So the running joke right now is, what's his new name going to be in Illinois? This is Rebecca. Rebecca kind of follows my pattern in not being able to decide what she wants to be when she grows up. I've been accused of having professional ADD, and I think Becca will probably have a similar problem. She's good at everything that she tries, and a beautiful young lady who's kind of growing into her own. This is Zach. You can see the determination there as he takes on the bigger guy. My parents also always used to say the bigger they are, the harder they fall. So Zach, that's sometimes true, not always. Be careful. And then this is Violet. She is 3. she probably had the biggest accomplishment here. She was born here at Texas Children's and has done a lot of amazing things. And last but not least, this is Megan. She's the woman behind everything. I echo the comments from earlier before that women are great. So especially this particular one. My parents, if they were here, they would remind me that I didn't do it by myself, which is true. I have not. She is the woman of my dreams. I love her, and look forward to many years together. So thank you everyone for giving me a few minutes to talk. Thank you to the faculty for being patient with me and teaching me. And last but not least, I would be remiss if I didn't thank God for all of the blessings that He's showered on our family.